Hey everybody, Ozark Kilm here. So I wanted to talk about really quick lately with everything that's been in the news with the paradigm shifts in society and all that. I want to talk about the power that those that hate my people seem to claim that we have. And that if I had the power, I meaning me, my people, etc., claim that we have. They call us privileged. If we had the power that you claim that we have, you speaking to anybody, it's really, I don't know, against our people, critical of our people, etc. If we had the power that you claim that we have, then all you would ever hear about all the time is how a lot of my ancestors were indentured servants coming over here, how they were forced into either that or debt prison because of the way the banking system was in Europe, how many of them, we are descended from the very, very few who didn't starve to death, and that no, yes, it was different than race-based chattel slavery, but it was also a horrible atrocity. You wouldn't hear about anything bad my ancestors did. You wouldn't hear about anything, but you would hear about how my people were killed and slaughtered and women and children killed and scalped on the Oregon Trail, about the horrible atrocities that happened to us in westward expansion. But you would never hear the flip side if we really had the power that you claim that we have. We would have museums in every major city and constant museum exhibits paid for by our billionaires. Every time we got in trouble, if we were involved in child human trafficking, the government actually wouldn't. We would have the government and the media and everybody covered up. We would have the list of the people we were blackmailing never even released, and there would never be justice for the victims based on my ethnicity. There would be museums dedicated to the victims of the Oregon Trail and indentured servitude, and how I'm descended from the very, very few percentage who survived, who had nothing but mush peas to eat after a long, hard day of labor, because there was no incentive to keep people alive since you only had them for 7 years. And they were pretty much forced into that situation. I would absolutely demonize anybody who questioned any of the details around indentured servitude or even criticized it or criticized any of the historical narrative that I have set up. I would threaten to destroy your life. I would have your bank account shut down. I would have you silenced. I would have your entire fortune taken away and everything you ever earned, and your name permanently sullied. Unless you threatened to, unless you literally took a knee, apologized to me and my people, went to an indentured servitude museum, read a bunch of books, paid a bunch of penance, donated to causes that support my people. If I actually had the power that you claim I have. The fact that you can call me, my child, my people privileged, and then use it against us, use our own statistical accomplishments against us. The fact that you can blame the problems of every other group of people on my people means that we do not have the power that you claim that we have. The very people, I would argue, and I'm not pointing to any specific group or ethnicity of people, because many of them are amongst my own people, and they come from all kinds of groups of people. But it is definitely targeted against my people. It's anti-white, it's anti-Western, it's being done in every Western nation on the face of the planet, with only a few of us in our nations further to the east that are still reeling in poverty from the after effects of communism and fighting amongst themselves, but haven't been tainted by this self-loathing, self-hating guilt trip. To the point that at this point we don't even acknowledge ourselves as an ethnic group or a people. We wrap ourselves in the flag, we talk about patriotism and the Constitution when we don't have that anymore. After the borders have been opened up, illegally overrun by tens of millions, we're displaced in our own communities. It's not even safe for us to go into the cities of our ancestors that in the neighborhoods that they built. Well, we had to watch on TV in summer 2020 as the downtowns and the buildings in the communities that our ancestors built that aren't even safe for us to go into anymore were burned down. When BLM and these groups funded by billionaires came to our towns, and they said that we were racist for being too white. And it's pretty much just an anti-white slur these days. And they had to board up the windows on their communities and their towns. And now we're being told that you have to have diversity, when diversity only means less white and is only predominantly white areas. And by the nature of being white itself is evil, and whiteness is evil. And when the National Institute of Health website publishes articles that says being white is a parasite, is a parasitic disease that must be done away with, our own government publishes genocidal languages and genocidal articles against us. That's a problem. And it's a problem we need to address, and we must have the right to speak up and defend ourselves as a people. We have to. We have no choice. Do it or be overrun. The majority of large cities in Britain aren't even ethnically British or even ethnically European anymore. And people who speak up about it face the risk of harassment by police or even rounded up and thrown in prison. So-called hate speech laws that are specifically targeted against ethnic Brits. If your culture is becoming degenerate and you speak up, that's hate speech. If you talk about children being castrated and abused in your culture and your schools, that's hate speech. Words that had true meaning like tolerance and love and hate have been twisted and turned against us to support degeneracy and to support white erasure from our own nations and lands and cities. And again, we're always the bad guy in these narratives. So stop using their narratives. We have the right and now the necessity to speak up for ourselves as a people. We have to, because we do not have the power that those that hate us claim that we have. This is Ozark Hillman. I'll have a good one.